On me? Hello, guys. Welcome to the Lucerne Hotel. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm joined to my right
Lucerne.
by Tim. I don't know, actually, but we're going to call it that. By Tim, by Bill, and by Seamus. All wonderful gentlemen that have agreed to come and chat today.
Yeah.
A very amazing angle to have a conversation.
Look at this.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to hear as well.
Turn your headphones up. And how are you doing today, guys?
Yeah, do we have headphones? Also, this is not in front of my face anymore. It's still slightly in front of my face. I think that's for the audience's
Nobody
protection.
wants to see Seamus's face
yeah,
anyway,
exactly.
so
There's a
it's
reason I
better
do
off.
cartoons. Understood.
Oh, there you go. You got him. You're over there.
Yeah, you can kind of see my face. Look at that. All right, so
see
from
you.
the right angle.
You look beautiful. So, Bill, you need to tell me what Seamus says because I can't hear him, and then
Yeah.
Tim will tell you,
It's
Seamus,
like
what
an
I say. So,
Occupy
yeah, we're
protest.
good. Yeah,
Like
we're playing
basically,
telephone
I'll
in real
just
time. Okay.
relay and then
Just make everything I say sound way better.
deal.
Fix what he said.
Yeah, fix what I
What's it
say. Make
called
it more
when you
reasonable.
Echo the stuff the Occupy protest.
Mic check.
Mic check. Yeah. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
How's everybody doing today? Tell him.
We're hanging.
Tell him.
We're going to the
How's
Beacon.
everybody doing
Oh,
today?
how's everybody going today?
Yeah, there we go.
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'd say it's a nice day.
How are you doing?
Oh, so I'm doing good. I wasn't expecting to be on a panel, but I'm happy to. It's always a fun time.
He said it was a fun time.
I said,
Oh.
no, that's not what I said. Do I have to whisper in his ear and he whispers in your ear and then we get it wrong by the time it gets over to Steven?
Steven, what do you think's going to happen tonight?
It's going to be wild. Violence at the least.
Yeah.
At the least.
Body count.
Here?
I'm saying 3 or 4.
You think this debate is going to get that crazy?
Oh, this one right
you
here.
think this debate is going to get that crazy?
Not that violent.
Yeah,
Hey,
you're blocking the
Ryan.
camera.
Dude, what are you doing, man? Are you crazy?
Come around.
Ryan
Camera just
Long.
blocks it. Yeah,
Good friend of the stream, Ryan, has shown up.
Hello, sir.
Here, we'll rotate.
Do we have,
in 3.
Yeah, you're tall enough, actually. You can just kneel. Jeez.
Here's what we're going to do. We're all going to tell Ryan what we're saying, and he's going to go from person to
getting
person
hot
relaying the information. We don't have headphones.
So, what's your panel on? What's your topic?
We're going to be talking about media manipulation. It's me, it's Tulsi, it's James O'Keefe, and Ben Burgess.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be interesting, too. I am a subscriber of Jacobin. I'm actually a fan. They believe in free speech, and I appreciate that. So I subscribed, talked to Ben about it. He said, yeah, absolutely, and I think it'll be really interesting to get a left
How's it going, big
perspective
guy?
along with the rest of us when we all agree on free speech, so it'll be interesting.
Gotcha.
And the media being trash.
What do you think? So you are there representing your brand. I guess Burgess is there for Jacobin. It's kind of cool. And then
I think he's there for himself. I don't want,
a little bit. Oh,
he's a
sure, yeah,
columnist,
not
you
as
know.
an official representative,
Yeah.
but like in terms of experience. And then O'Keefe, obviously from Project
There-
Veritas. Tulsi's a little bit of an odd one out there. What do you think her contribution is going to be?
I don't know. I don't.
What's your angle of attack on this conversation?
I think Tulsi is cool, but I don't know what she's been working on. I saw her on The Five on Fox News.
Sure.
She came out and I think she issued a statement agreeing with the Supreme Court's ruling on concealed carry in New York. That seems like a rightward shift for her because I know that she actually used to be fairly pro-gun control.
Was she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple years ago. But maybe not as much as I think. So I guess considering she's been called a Russian asset so many times, she'll talk about that. That should be interesting.
Gotcha.
I'd like to be included in this conversation. Ryan.
Yeah,
and
actually, I just
we're
realized
gonna
that we're
get a
having
word
two
in
different
edgewise over here.
conversations. They're all getting one thing.
I moved my mic. Well, we moved our mics so that we would not be interrupting you guys.
Okay, now we're on.
We were doing just fine until Seamus butted in.
Yeah, you kind of fucked the whole
Seamus is
vibe of that
wildly-
conversation.
My role on Timcast is to bring the stream down. That is
Seamus,
the whole
what do you
point.
want to talk about?
Man, there's so much. I didn't even expect to be streaming tonight, so I don't have all that many ideas in my head
Potatoes?
right now. Yeah, probably potatoes on account of my Irish ethnicity, which is constantly harped on
The
for
true
comic relief,
slaves.
which I consider to be offensive. But yeah, I guess Roe V Wade is huge. It's almost inescapable. We probably have to talk about it, and just the fallout we're going to see from that, and also the Department of Justice saying that they don't want to acknowledge the Supreme Court's ruling,
And the Pentagon.
A lot of really crazy, unprecedented stuff
President.
here. You sort of mentioned, I think Tim was asking you about your predictions for the night.
Oh, that was Bill. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of protests with titties out. I think
Oh
that's
my
a
goodness.
guarantee.
There's probably not going to be protests at this event, though. Do you think?
No.
Have there
No.
been a lot of protests around New York for the?
Last night I was doing comedy and there was a lot of people protesting.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know, it's always kind of funny because like this girl had a sign that was, protest, and she was like kind of put in everyone's face, and everyone's like, yeah, everyone here thinks that.
Because we're in New York, yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Who are you
And
shouting at?
we were talking about this, and this is not all that original a take at this point, but most of the rioting is going to occur in cities where abortion will never be illegalized.
And it's actually expanding. So New York, California, these are states, Illinois, that have talked about actually expanding access to abortion.
Oh, okay, and I think Newsom from California was saying that they would invite basically people from other states and that they wouldn't cooperate with investigations of other states. Although I don't think, I don't know legally, can another state pursue you into another state if you got an abortion there and try to like charge you for it?
That's a good question. I'm not really well versed on the legal question. I think
My understanding is no, but if you return to the state,
Yeah.
you'll have committed a crime.
Interesting. Well, like if you go to another state and like smoke weed and then go back to another state where weed is illegal, then they like.
So, like, if you're in West Virginia,
Yeah.
it's illegal weed. Maryland, legal weed. So, if you're from West Virginia and go to Maryland and then come back, I don't think West Virginia will do anything. Maryland won't do anything.
I wonder if it's like illegal.
Fly with the fetus.
You can't fly with the fetus.
Yeah, it's like you can't fly with
right.
weed, but if you smoke it on vacation.
Oh,
But
gotcha, gotcha.
This will be interesting.
It says
So you
mic
just
on
can't, so
flight.
if you have an abortion in another
Buddy,
state,
your
you just
mic's
can't bring it
unplugged.
back with you, basically.
But this will be interesting. If you're in Texas, where it's illegal now, I believe not. I believe it might be now. Might be 30 days, and then go to California. I think I'm fairly certain they said they will prosecute you if you return. But the crazier thing is, if you go to, it's going to be interesting if a state issues a warrant for your arrest, but you don't return to that state. Like, what are they going to do? Are they
Well,
going
that's pretty easy. Usually, I want to say they'll only like extradite you across state lines if it's for some real shit. Like if you murdered or raped somebody.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know if there's like a minor crime. Like, will Florida ship somebody back to Ohio if they're late on their car registration payment and there's like a bench warrant for? I don't know if that ever happens. You know?
I think they ignore it, but Louisiana did try recently to codify abortion as homicide. They rescinded that really quickly.
Yeah.
But if that's the direction these states go, and I think they might, that's going to be really weird.
Do you think you see someone go to jail for abortion?
Yeah.
Yeah, for
definitely,
sure,
dude.
for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep. In these states where they already made it illegal, they're going to go hard.
And from what I understand, most of the laws target the doctors, but, and I'm saying this as someone who is pro-life, I think at some point down the line, whether it's today or tomorrow or 10 years, you're going to have some kind of legislation which will penalize the person seeking an abortion. Now, as I am aware, I don't think any of the laws on the books currently seek to do that. Pretty much everything I've seen has referenced what doctors are able to do and the punishment they can occur without reference to the woman, but I think it's a likely possibility. I mean, if you believe it's homicide, as I do, I think there's an argument to be made, as many people are making, that with abortion, it is often a crime of ignorance. Many women don't understand that it's a human life. People go back and forth on that, but if you truly believe it's homicide, if it's illegal in that state, and there is some culture of life that's been fostered, I don't think you can escape the conclusion that women will probably be prosecuted for it. In the same way that, look, Drew Peterson was charged with double homicide because when he killed his wife, she was pregnant with their unborn child. So our legal system is already prepared to prosecute people for the deaths of unborn children.
Yeah, I mean they could do it.
Do you think? Well, and so the other point is, will it ever be politically popular? Is it ever something that they're going to do? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one. The abortion is very divisive in the United States. Even probably in states where they are majority against abortion, it's still like one of those issues that's like that gets people so fired up.
Yeah.
That I think that's. I know at least for my parents, like abortion would be a single issue vote for them. Like, I don't know if my mom would ever admit it, but I think she would vote for a Democrat over a Republican if they were pro or anti-abortion. Like, I think it's like that big of a deal for her.
Well, I'm probably in that camp too, if I'm entirely honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess so. One question, obviously, is going into the midterms. Yeah, go for it. Going into the midterms, I wonder if this is going to hurt Republicans.
So some people have suggested it will. I don't think it's going to, and there's a few reasons for that. I think when you look at abortion as an issue, you are correct that people feel very strongly about it. I don't know that people feel as strongly about it as they do their ability to support their family, for example, or afford the gas to get to work. And regardless of who you feel is to blame for that, I think most people are going to blame the current administration and the Democratic Party and vote against them. Some were arguing that this was a gift to the Democratic Party from Republicans as soon as we were even talking about overturning Roe v. Wade. But then the Democrats responded by trying to pass legislation which would expand abortion rights to a degree that the vast majority of Americans disagree with, and which is really unpopular with the public. So if the Democrats did have any political advantage there, I think they fumbled it.
Yeah, maybe. I guess it'll depend on how mad people are. There's also like the time spent and everything too. Like in 2 weeks, like some other event could come up where people don't care anymore. Another variant, another war, who knows?
Yeah.
It's always hard to predict with everything being so crazy the past couple of years, the past 10 years really, for what people will care about, some months from now. But
I will make a prediction. I think, and at the very least I'll say this of the pro-life side, I think people are always going to care very significantly about abortion, and here's why. The Supreme Court made its decision on homosexual unions 10 years ago, right? And most of the public opinion has turned in favor of the left-wing perspective on that and in favor of the perspective of the court. Roe v. Wade was decided 50 years ago, roughly, and there is still a massive and very strong and powerful pro-life movement in this country. So I don't think the issue is ever going to go away. I think people are always going to care very deeply about this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was part of Alito's reasoning, was that even though it had been decided, it was settled law. I think even Kavanaugh said that. Clearly, the states are very divided on it. It's 22 states have trigger laws to reverse it the second that it goes away. The Roe protections go away. Whereas, like for gay marriage, maybe I miss it, but I don't hear Republicans talk about gay marriage much anymore. But
not nearly as
abortion
much.
is still like a very, very hot button issue. And even in the places where it's supposed to be, legal as per the Supreme Court, you still have states that will try to put up as many roadblocks as possible between a woman and getting an abortion. So. Yeah, that's an issue that people feel very, very, very strongly about.
I would agree. Well, and I think that when you're looking at the Supreme Court decision, I think with this issue, it seems, at least with the way the rhetoric is framed, to affect a larger percentage of the population. I think just naturally, because it's an issue of human life, people are going to feel more strongly about it. But when you think about like what percentage of the population is gay or is seeking to be in that union, probably a significantly smaller proportion than would say they're affected by abortion or their beliefs about abortion.
Yeah, because abortion does affect, really like men and women. Anybody
Yes.
in a sexual relationship that can have a kid is going to be impacted by these types of rulings. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what do you think the fallout's going to be here?
Like I said, I don't even try to make predictions anymore. Everything is so insane. Like, Trump could announce that he's running again tomorrow, and I don't think if anybody would even be talking about abortion anymore. It would just be all on Trump. So, or like inflation could go runaway, or the economy might 180 and turn around. And it's so hard to predict with all the crazy like news events going on, and then how short our attention span is for any particular issue.
100%. So that's something I've actually said on Tim's show a number of times. Whenever I'm asked to make a prediction, I basically say that at this point. I think after 2016, I was just done making predictions. It's almost as if that one really crazy friend you had turned out to be right about Trump getting elected, and then just a whole bunch of other stuff you never thought they would be right about after that, and it just like didn't stop for 6 years, and I'm at the point where it's like, look, I'm not capable of seeing the future. This has been very humbling for me.
Yeah, who knows? I don't think that you're going to see a change like federally, because to codify anything related to abortion is going to get, you need 60 votes in the Senate, and we're not there, right? We're probably not going to be there after, I say we because I'm a Democrat, probably not going to be there after the midterm, so this ruling is going to stick for a while.
Yes, a very long time. Look, and speaking of the difficulty of making predictions, I'm younger here, right? But I thought if Roe v. Wade was overturned, it was not going to be until much later in my life. I never anticipated that it was going to happen as quickly as it did. I remember even thinking, as a kid, this is something my parents said to me when Obama was elected, but basically that Roe v. Wade, and they were saying this as boomers, right? But they said Roe v. Wade will probably not be overturned in our lifetimes because he's going to appoint justices and they're going to uphold the current status quo of the court. So, yeah, very, very difficult to predict the fallout of a completely unpredictable event.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you feel?
What's your name?
I'm Ben Stewart.
Ben. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Tim called me up, so I was just kind of catching up with where the conversation was.
Gotcha.
But to see, so I've seen you on Timcast a lot. I've seen you on Timcast before as well.
Yeah, he did like a bunch of abortions. Now he's kind of sick of them.
That's what I hear.
Incorrect.
Yeah.
You said after the 10th one, you felt like this was a lot.
I knew it. Look, can I disconnect your microphone again?
Well,
Why is this back
I
in?
don't think you got him pegged correctly. Yet. Something's telling me. I'm curious, especially like with an event like this that's really about like the community from different sides of ideological divides, like what is the best way for us to start bridging, even if there are ideological divides, like what is the best possible scenario, not just in the next couple years, but like things that we can build together that show.
I think if they
there's
took
something
the
deeper,
women's
far
vote away, that would probably unify a lot of the country.
more. Take what?
We unify a lot of the country to take away women's right to vote.
Yeah.
Aha.
Everybody needs
Whereas
an
we have
enemy.
the like abortion is divisive. Like if you
Because men
take
are negatively affected, but if women lost the right to vote, that's just a net benefit for all of us. So,
Yeah.
Can't men get pregnant though?
they yeah. I mean
not enough for it to matter. I think. Not enough for it to be a significant concern yet.
So you were kind of asking a question about bridging the gap. I think this question gets asked a lot. Frankly, I think part of why we're seeing so much polarization is because people are just taking their ideological worldview to its more logically consistent end. So people will say things like, we used to be able to compromise on abortion. That's not true. I mean, public perception may have been more like quote-unquote moderate on abortion, but ultimately you believe it's a human life and a person's being killed and that's unacceptable. Or you believe that women are being prevented from having a necessary medical procedure. I don't really see a middle ground there. And I think that's the case with many of the hot button issues. So I'm not sure what bridge there is to gap, if that makes any sense.
Your assessment, I mean, I know you're young, but like, is this the most divided we've been in a long time, or is this just the way that the spin gets when social media is the new way we get our info?
This is actually really funny. So I
It's
saw
been more divided when there was civil wars.
Yeah. So it's funny. I saw a chart, and it was like a chart that charted national division, and it shows how high it got during the Civil War and fell, and now we're almost as high again. It's like, how could you measure that and a graph? People have all sorts of theories about how divided we are. We certainly are. I think that's present to anyone who's observed, or clear to anyone who's observing. But I've been on this planet 27 years.
It's
I
more
don't know.
divided on the
It's
internet
clearly
than it
more
is in
divided
real
than
life.
It was a couple of years ago, and also more divided online than it is in real life. But it's clearly in the real world too.
I think one way you can measure division that I think is different is I think we have more ways to like self-segregate than we ever did before. Because like people joke about this a lot, but like if you wanted to fuck toasters as like a child, like everybody's gonna look at you like crazy, and you're probably gonna grow up in a community
Send you
where
to
they're gonna tell you
therapy.
to stop fucking toasters because it's weird. Whereas today, I could be like on any internet forum in the world and probably have like a group of 20,000 toaster fuckers. that are giving me,
Toasties
like,
unite.
The ideal model.
There's a
like,
community of people that they wear their diapers to work so that they can pee their pants.
That's
Yeah.
not even hardcore anymore. That's like normal.
Yeah.
In a diaper, I don't even know. Like, yeah, it's like it's so far past that I've just been saying now. One thing that you said, here's like a thing, and I'll be critical. I can be critical of this event and a lot of things I think is kind of
go ahead.
interesting. You talk about like bridging divides. I think that people have a very false, we kind of like mind fucked ourselves on this left and right divide, and we should have learned this in 2016. The big divide right now in this country, one of them, is establishment versus anti-establishment.
100%.
And one thing you notice at a lot of events like this that are bridging the left and the right is they are left and they are right, but they're actually all anti-establishment.
Yes,
So like Ben
yes.
Burgess is here from Jacobin. He's not going to support the Democrats or the Republicans. Every single person here, except for me, because I'm a huge institutional shill, so I love our institutions and our political parties, but every other person besides me here is just going to be relentlessly shitting on Democrats and Republicans. So it seems like we're uniting sides, but not really. It's just a different type of group we moved into, you know?
No, I actually agree with you on that. And so there was a phenomena I think we saw a lot online around 2014, 2015, 2016, where you'd have people like, is the mic? Okay,
babe, I got you. Sorry.
So you would have folks like Dave Rubin who would say, isn't it incredible that we're at this point that like me, a gay person, and you, a Christian conservative, can sit there and have this conversation and agree, but the only reason that's happening is because everything else has become so polarized that people kind of have no choice but to ignore certain issues that do really matter to them. And I also agree with you that when it comes to this question of like bridging the gap, look, I am more than happy. They're both far more important than me, but thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been great talking. And have a wonderful day. Yeah, of course. Are you going to be on the Tulsi?
Well, maybe we should keep this conversation going. Yeah, right on.
Yeah, what's up?
So when you said you were kind of half joking, I would imagine, saying you're kind of a shill for the institutions.
Absolutely not. I am a huge supporter of our institutions.
Well, no, like, so in what way? Because it doesn't sound like the way that you made it sound is probably kind of the way that you're joking that others may see you?
I think that the institutions in the United States or in any country are paramount. They're like the most important thing to be functional, and I think it's good that we have like official like parties that battle back and forth. I think there is a real division in the parties. I think there's a real division in the media. I think in the kind of the alternative media world, there's this idea that it's us versus them, where all of the institutions are working together. The Republicans and the Democrats are all funded by the same corporate donors. The DOJ, the FBI, like everybody's all working together with each other. And then there's like the alternative world that's like kind of poised against them. And I take opposition to that viewpoint. I think there is real division in the actual like institutional world. Is how I view.
So, as far as like the most obvious way forward then for you would be maybe reframing the us versus them or the, ride or die left versus right paradigm. So it would be more of an ideological shift.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah, let's do this.
yeah, it's not just ideological. There's a lot of stuff going on, but yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, bro.
Thank you. Have fun, buddy.
Sorry, I don't want to kick you out of your chair. How's it going?
How's it going? My name's Steve.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.